Good morning, everybody. I just made it here to Tidal Gardens, talking over with Dan about the Rico Palooza, as everybody's calling an event here at Tidal Gardens. So we're going to go in, talk to him, let him show us around a little bit of what's going on with the new facility and how much work has been done and how much work is still needed. And hopefully everything will be done for you guys when you get here in about approximately 3 weeks of seeing the new facility. So let's get in here and talk to him and see what he has in store for us today.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Alright guys, I'm here at Tidal Garden. Here's Stan. He's about to show us around of the new facility. So what are you going to show us, Stan?
Got some updates for you guys. And sorry, like I hate when people wear sunglasses on camera, but it's really bright out. So we'll go inside real quick and check things out.
Alright, let's go.
So we'll do some stuff outside perhaps a little bit later.
Okay.
But we'll take a look at some of the stuff that's going on inside the building, and we can talk about a bunch of different stuff. Probably since I don't think anybody's really doing updates because I'm not doing them, not lately anyway.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, so we'll check it out.
All right.
So this is different from just the last time Rico was here. Because he was here just a couple days ago, or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Right, yeah.
Time is doing weird things. But yeah, we got the ceiling painted. One of our customers came over and was like, "Hey, you know, I'm a professional painter. I have a painting company, and if you guys need any painting done, you know, maybe we can work out some trade." And I'm like looking around thinking, how much credit do you want? Because we have infinite painting projects here. So he's gonna get started on this building really quick, and hopefully within a few weeks we're gonna have like the walls and all the other areas of this building, at least on the inside, painted. If you come in real quick, so this material is called like Smart Panel. It's like an exterior panel, and one of our suppliers had built a new facility, and then the inside was this material. And it holds up quite well with a lot of humidity and stuff, but it's really not intended to. I mean, this stuff comes pre-primed, so it's really supposed to be painted. We weren't planning on painting it at all because it just wasn't in our budget, but when this painter came along and said, "Hey, well, I'll do this stuff for like coral trade," well, that changes all of the mathematics on that. So we're getting all of this painted. We're getting a bunch of stuff around here painted because I'm not going to turn that down.
No way.
Trades? No, that's always going to be a good idea. On one of my update videos, I mentioned having to do a lot of thinking as far as like gas exchange goes, because there's so much humidity that I expect to build up in here that we really have to do everything we can to prevent all that humidity from just eating this entire building up. So you can see these ports sitting up over each of the sinks. The sinks are new also, there's going to be 4 sinks. But over each sink is going to be one of these units here. This is an HRV, or is it, maybe it's an ERV, I'm not really sure. The difference, I think, is whether or not the unit transmits humidity itself. I'm just using it as like a gas exchange. The way that it works, I don't know if like Rico can swing over to this side. The way that these guys work is that it's essentially 2 fans, and it mixes the air going through this core unit. And the gas coming in, the air coming in versus the air going out, it never actually touches each other. It just transmits the heat. So like in the dead of winter, the outgoing air heats up the incoming air. So you're not like just losing all of your heating and cooling just on venting everything out. So this is essentially, instead of like just opening up your windows, you just run these things and you wouldn't lose all your heating and cooling. So we've got 4 of these units scheduled to go in, and each of them are 200 CFM. So I'm hoping that, you know, come wintertime, because that's really the only time that I'm very concerned about humidity, is because you just can't realistically open your windows all winter long.
Right.
Summertime, you can open your windows, you can open your doors. It's humid outside, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not like it's going to eat your building humid.
Correct.
But wintertime, it's eat your building humid. So we'll start with these. If we need actual dehumidifiers later, we'll give that a try. But
Now you said how many of these are going to be installed?
4.
4.
So there's 1 unit that's going to go over each sink, and you kind of have to have it located near a sink because there is condensation, so there's like a drain line that comes off of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the other thing, if you look up, this is like an unfinished ceiling. I was considering just a bunch of different things as far as the ceiling was concerned. I was thinking about just leaving it open. Then I was told by a bunch of people, like humidity and bare wood like this is going to be a problem. I was thinking about then spraying it, but then once I really got to thinking and just like stomping around upstairs, like just the sound of it kind of started to bother me, and so we're biting the bullet, and there's going to be insulation put in to help dampen sound, as well as a layer of this same kind of smart panel underneath to seal all this up. So that, and after that gets painted, it's going to be pretty weather resistant. Oh, in these walls, in addition to just the insulation and the wall paneling, there's also like a vapor barrier. It's like a 3 mil or a 6 mil plastic sheeting.
Yep.
And that's also going to be going on the ceiling as well. So like I figured between the smart panel, the paint, and the vapor barrier,
yeah.
If we're having humidity issues after that, like something has gone way terribly wrong before all that should have been handled. Like
Correct.
like we're spraying the whole place down or something. But so that's where we are currently with that. As far as like tanks come, I'm sure everybody's like thinking about tanks.
Yes.
We're soliciting quotes still for aquariums. I have a company in mind that I want to work with, but we need to have a couple more detailed discussions about, you know, like exact details of the tanks, exact pricing for all this stuff, and also delivery details. Because when you're asking for 20-something aquariums that are all gigantic, all of them are going to be over 10 feet long, how do you move them from wherever they're coming from? That's something you need to work out. Because I don't have like a skid steer, we don't have a dock, we can't really take a semi here, so these are all little details. Like you can buy the tanks, you just can't have them. So working on that, and in case everybody's wondering, custom anything these days is super expensive because material costs for anything has gone through the roof. Like wood, metals, glass, absolutely everything. So this building, I think, has like gone up in value about 30% on just pure materials alone. Like if we hadn't started when we did, this place would have cost probably 6 figures more just in material cost. It's insane. Yeah. But we are where we are. We're good.
Yeah, it's pretty much done and over with now.
Except for the glass tanks.
Except for the glass tanks. That too.
Yeah, I'm thinking about aluminum stands.
Yeah.
And that's another detail that I need to talk to the glass people about, is because, you know, there's certain companies that are really all about their stands as far as guarantees go, and so I need to have that discussion because I do like the aluminum stuff a little bit more than I like the steel stuff, and definitely more than I like the wood stuff.
Well, with my build, that's why I kind of mentioned to you earlier, I'm going to probably be going with a company called Framing Tech. So it's really nice. There's another YouTuber that actually used it, and I had the opportunity to go to his house and check it out, and I really love the product. So
that's
Tristan's Reef.
Tristan's Reef.
Yes. And so therefore, I don't know, maybe that's something you can look into as well.
Definitely worth getting quotes now.
Yeah, at least maybe if they see this, they can give you a quote or reach out to you.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, I mean, like, I know aluminum, like T-slot channels, like super expensive these days.
Yes.
It's one of those things that has shot up in price. But I like the fact that it's lightweight. One person can move a 10-foot stand. I mean, not that we move stands like that all the time, but it's nice knowing that it's not made of cinder blocks like our current stands are.
Yeah.
You can move stuff like much more easily. So that is important. I like the way they look too. It's very, very polished.
Yeah.
And it's very saltwater resistant.
Yes.
Like pretty
and
much
that's a big
everything
thing.
else is kind of not.
Right.
Like nothing performs quite like aluminum. I mean, people say, "Oh, stainless is great." Stainless is not great.
No.
So people think, "Oh, you can't rust stainless." Trust me, I do every day. Every day. All right. What else can we talk about? Well, basically, I know some people want to do growing setups and things like that on their own. Okay, I can tell you this. Okay, you cannot have enough sinks. Sinks are more valuable than your tanks because you will be doing so much more work at sinks. It's crazy. So we have like the 4 sinks, 1, 2, and then there's 2 in like the back quadrant of the greenhouse there. And we're going to be getting a mop sink for like just like more of like utility type stuff, water changes and things.
And where's that going to be located?
That is going to be over here. And floor drains are also nice. But
Oh yeah, and you put in what, 8 or so? How many?
I think I added 8 to the 3 that were going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Or you added 8?
There's like 9.
9.
Or something like that. Yeah. Unless I miscounted. But it's just going to be in this area here, the mop sink.
Okay, so what is this area actually?
It is going to be where we're going to be doing a lot of like the water treatment. So right now, all the sinks, like the showers and everything in the bathroom, all the basic water is coming off of our well. It goes through like water softening and all that stuff.
Right.
So that's all well water. But for the aquariums, I want to use a rainwater collection cistern, which we can take a look at a little bit later here.
Okay.
So the entire ceiling of this place, this 5,000 square foot ceiling, all the downspouts go to like this really cool like vortex filter, and then into a rainwater collection cistern that's 10,000 gallons. So what we're going to be doing with that water is 2 things. First, we're using it as a heat sink. So when we're doing like geothermal cooling of the aquariums, we're going to be running like a closed loop of PEX essentially through that 10,000 gallons of water because it stays at 55 degrees all year round. And we did test that. It's rock solid temperature down there because it's deep. It's not like, oh, it's 3 feet deep. No, it's like 12 feet deep. And it's, gigantic body of water.
Right.
10,000 gallons. So we're going to be using that as like a heat exchange mechanism. So like in the summertime, even if it's 90 degrees outside, we'll be able to get a pretty significant delta just on the water temperature that's in the cisterns. The water itself, we're going to be using to make all of our RO from that.
Right.
So yeah, there'll be just like less, I guess, stress on the well and all that good stuff. And it's also just, I guess, like more environmentally friendly if you think about it, because we don't have to then, run all that through softeners and everything.
Right, which is always a good thing anyway. So anytime you can be environmental friendly is always a plus.
And we have like a neighboring church, and they've been like super awesome as to letting construction vehicles use their parking lot just to get into this place. They have like chronic like water issues in their basement and stuff like that because all the properties kind of slope down, and they're like the last property that gets all this water, right? So even on this particular property, when we had the topographical survey done, the highest point and the lowest point is 11 feet drop.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
They're on the other side of the 11 foot. And we are low compared to several properties going in the other direction. So there might be like a 15 to 20 foot drop coming from
the
2
initial
blocks away,
right,
all the way down through our property and then right into the church. And so anything that we can do to like kind of like divert water away from the church and into cisterns and stuff like that, it's kind of like just being better neighbors in that sense. And they've been so cool to us. So,
that's awesome. Awesome.
yeah, looking forward to getting all that done. But hopefully, well, all this stuff is actually plumbed. Like that got plumbed on Friday. And it's just a matter of now getting electric, which, fingers crossed, might happen fairly shortly here. Like the transformer might be getting dropped in tomorrow.
Oh.
So we'll see. Fingers crossed. It's the utility company. If they don't show up, then they don't show up.
Right.
But yeah, so we're getting a 400 amp 3-phase service. So like the conduit's already in the ground, goes all the way to the street, to the pole. You know, we had to get like trees trimmed and everything like that are around the pole. It was an ordeal, and now it's finally like, come on guys, put the transformer.
Not to get too much into that, can you just explain to people how much stress is really involved in a project like that? When you made the comment like with the electric and just getting people to do their like be here when they need to be here, or per se.
Yeah, I mean, people that have done like, you know, big remodels and stuff like that, they know. It's
yeah.
Like your whole project is completely dependent on the quality of your contractors. And when you have like a dozen contractors, not all of them are going to be spectacular. Right. And so sometimes you're held up by your least spectacular contractor. And I have some stories. It's a like true like clown fiesta level contractor stories.
Maybe we could talk about that on one of the live sale as we're just burning time or something. I don't want to
completely like bury these dudes before I fire them.
Yeah.
Because they technically still need to do work here. But yeah, there's some special folks out there doing work. I'll tell you that.
All right.
But I'll tell you, we do have like a handful of like fantastic ones. And I'm like, I will give these people business forever because they're so good.
There you go.
And so like that, I guess that's the bright side to this. You do come across good ones.
Right.
Occasionally.
All right. We'll save that for a little bit later date. So what else we got going on here? I see the big electrical panel here.
Yeah.
Is that all wired up, ready to go pretty much? No. Okay, that's back to the first thing we just talked about, so we'll skip that for now.
Yeah, pretty much there's a bunch of people waiting for that transformer to get dropped in.
Okay.
To come back and do more stuff, and electrical obviously
is one of them.
Yeah, I don't know if your phone can handle really dark spaces, because again, we don't have lights.
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah.
Yeah, as you can see in here, this is the first of the 2 bathrooms. Going with like some marble looking tile.
Yeah, it looks good. So obviously we have a shower here.
Yeah, it's a 4 foot by 4 foot
toilet, and then behind you we have the actual sink area.
Yeah. And a tile saw.
So how big is this actual bathroom is?
That's a 10 by 10.
10 by 10.
But it's really tall ceilings.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the weird part about it. It's really tall.
Well,
like 12 foot something ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out the door. We can take a look upstairs real quick.
Okay.
Because the painter came in and did...
I was just looking up here at the ceiling. Right here I noticed that they already started painting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, they did that yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, so
I like it actually.
Yeah, the dark ceiling... The walls are going to get lighter.
Okay.
It's going to be like a light gray. We went with like a dark gray ceiling. And so down here as well, it's going to have a dark gray ceiling.
Okay.
And a lot of it is just to like, you know, just to bring the attention kind of down.
Yeah.
Because like especially down here,
right,
you don't need to be worried about anything over your head.
Correct.
I mean, that's just not anything of interest. I want everything kind of like, you know, this chest level. Everything is going to be bright.
Right.
And colorful. And that's kind of why we just went with like the gray, darker gray, white color scheme. Just keep it real simple, no crazy colors or anything like that.
Right.
We'll save that for the corals to do all the crazy color stuff. Otherwise it's going to be like some weird casino effect, you know?
Yeah.
Like some crazy carpets and noises.
Oh.
It's like the exact opposite of this, you know? Because I want like complete dead silent and like nothing distracting on the walls or ceiling. But yeah, let's take a look upstairs. Once all this stuff is painted, we can get our Finnish carpenter started on the floors, and I'm really looking forward to that because, you know, it's one of those things where until like the project gets far enough along, it's even hard to imagine what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
And or it's kind of like painting, where unless they're absolutely done painting, it looks weird. Until it's absolutely completely finished. So in that sense, it's exciting that a lot of this stuff is getting done. Nothing's really changed as far as like the studio goes. It's got painted, and I wouldn't be in a huge hurry to go in there because it's a little paint weirdness still going on in there. A little rough.
A little rough.
A little bit rough.
Well, your painter actually got a lot covered in a day, literally.
No, he's good. He's one of the good guys. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing as far as like these types of construction projects, I realized is that you can't use the same guys for everything, or very rarely can you.
Right.
So like the guys that had like framed this up did a great job with the framing, did it super fast, or hyper industrious. But at some point, it's like you can tell that they hit the end of their skill set. So it's like they're not finished guys.
Right.
So when they start to do like, you know, interior like detail work, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. Next.
That's kind of rough. It's like that silicone isn't even close.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Or it was like silicone to begin with, and you have like a leaky window. Like, guys. But yeah, but at least, you know, we do have the people in place to do this stuff now. We'll see. Other bathrooms up here. It's the same design.
Same concept. Well, this one is a little bit different.
It's big. Yeah, it's bigger.
It's definitely bigger. And we have a viewing window. Looks like we have the washer and dryer hookup over here.
Yes, there's going to be laundry up here.
So laundry. And
My dad insisted on the window.
Yes. I remember your dad was like...
That's like his favorite thing in this whole building.
Yeah, he wasn't taking no for an answer on this window. That's for sure. Yeah. So we had to do what Dad said. So
Dad gets some say in it. Kitchen's gonna go here one day. I have no plans for the kitchen at all just yet. So I'm actually not even looking forward to that build. So I'm not thinking.
I think the kitchen is probably the least of your worries.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's not even quoted. Like, I don't care. I got other problems right now. And it's like, I have a kitchen.
Yeah.
If other people don't have a kitchen for a little while, they'll live.
They'll be okay.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to see, but there's 6 of these.
Yeah.
Things that are covered up. These are individual exhaust fans.
Okay.
So they're like the fans themselves are inline, like Panasonic fans, very, very quiet. And each of them moves 340 CFM.
Now, are these on some kind of sensor or anything, or do you have to manually turn these on when you?
Just manual.
Okay.
So the idea is that any of the heat that comes up and collects up here against the ceiling, we can just evacuate the air out very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah. So I mean, because that's like close to 1500, 1600 CFM.
Yeah.
Instantly kicking on and sucking everything out of this building. So
Yeah.
that's going to be more, I'm assuming more for the summertime than it is going to be in the wintertime. But if we do need it in the winter, it'll take like 5 minutes to get this place cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing that I can think of, at least inside here,
Okay.
is these guys. So the plumber got these are 2 Lochinvar like commercial tankless hot water systems, and they are going to heat the floor downstairs. The entire floor is radiant heated, as well as the tanks themselves with heat exchange coils.
Right.
But they're also strong enough to do all of the tanks in the greenhouse next door. So we're going to be running lines to the other building, and we're going to have control systems to do each of the tanks in here individually, as well as each of the systems out there individually. Because like right now in the greenhouse, we really only have one control, meaning that when this one particular system calls for heat, all the other systems get heat. So if one of the other systems is kind of chilly, it doesn't matter. It's only when one system calls for heat that everybody gets heat. If one of the systems is a little bit warm and doesn't need heat, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
This guy calls for heat, he gets, the other one that's already too warm gets heated again. So not ideal. Ideally you would have, so you have 5 systems in the greenhouse, each one would have its own temperature control, right? Well here, we're going to have exactly that. There's going to be 4 systems downstairs, 4 really big systems. Each of them will have their own dedicated control. And each of the 5 systems in the greenhouse will now have dedicated control. And that's for both heating and cooling. The cooling, I don't think, is going to be tied to the same thing.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it, but it's like, I want this stuff to be idiot-proof because there's a lot of idiots around. Like, we need this stuff done way down. So a separate cooling system is probably just fine. We don't need to get too creative.
Right.
But...
And then, yeah, I was getting ready to get this guy here.
And that is just for, like, the faucets.
Okay, shower faucets,
Yeah,
instant hot water.
Yeah. And it's actually kind of cool because it's a long loop that goes all the way to the end of the building, loops back. And so this thing constantly keeps hot water in this line. So, 100 and something feet away downstairs, when they turn on the faucet, it's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah. So that's what this guy's here for.
Awesome.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have any other thing that was catching your eye in here?
No, pretty much this is what it is. So do we expect this to, pretty much, they should be, by the time the whole barbecue is going to happen, pretty much they should be technically all done. It just won't have any tanks and stuff like that, correct?
It won't have any tanks, but I mean, we might be able to, like, just to tape off like where stuff is going to be, so you can kind of like, have an idea. And we can, like, walk through where stuff is.
Right.
Who knows? There might be some of that stuff coming in. Not tanks, but like just some of like the precursor stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of be a little bit of a blank slate. I mean, it's going to look more finished than this. And we can hang out up here a little bit. And I'm just like hoping that we actually have electric and all that. Otherwise, people are going to be using porta potties during this event.
Yeah, yeah, we're shooting for electric.
Electric is going to be whatever it needs to be open for.
All right, well, this is cool. Let's go check outside the cistern you was talking about. Actually, give them a kind of idea of what you were talking about. I'm sure there's other people in construction that kind of knows what a cistern is or what it does. But for those that don't have a clue, let's give them that picture.
It's so bright.
It is very bright. I wish I had my glasses.
So, the downspouts from the roof all come down and all come together, and they go to this guy here. And I don't even know if I can get this thing. Yep. So, down there is like a stainless steel filter. And you wouldn't think this, but when the water comes in and starts whipping around through there, I would say that 90-something% of it goes through that filter to the side wall, and a pipe runs to these rainwater collection cisterns. And straight down is kind of like the waste water line, the rejection water, and that gets sent out just to the backyard here. But it's like a nothing. Like when I'm out here sitting in the rain, like watching this thing, the thing just whips around, and you can like count the drops of water that get rejected. It's unbelievable. Like all the water from that roof makes it into these cisterns.
Wow.
And so if we get like a heavy rain, it fills it up like instantly. which is crazy because that's how much water is like just being wasted on the ground otherwise, you know. So yeah, each of these cisterns, there's 2 of them. There's 5,000 each and they're connected to be 10,000. And our plumber is like, he's just amazing. He's like this plumbing savant.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was core drilling these things. We have like all kinds of lines going into them. So there's one line that's from like the pump that's in there to get back into the greenhouse or back into the new building. But then he has like the heating, the cooling coils. Those are core drilled in there. And then he has 2 electrical conduits as well. One of them is to provide power to the pump, and the other one is for control in the future.
What size pump does you guys possibly have in there that's
even know.
pumping
It's
that
like,
much?
It's a cylinder thing. Like about
okay.
And it's about like 3 feet tall. And if in the future, if we wanted to go to like a system that was like a variable speed rather than having like a pressure tank, we could do that. And there's like a lot of flexibility because all of it is kind of like thought in advance by this plumber that just, you know, just made it future proof as far as like all the different connections that are down
Awesome.
there.
Awesome.
It's crazy just watching them climb in there with the ladder. It's like,
yeah.
It is freaky because it's such a large cistern to like climb into. It's like this giant cave underground.
Wow. Awesome.
But waiting on concrete, waiting on electric, waiting on like and all the stuff that relies on electric before it can get finalized, things like that. But hopefully all that stuff is going to be coming along here soon.
Well, before we get into talking about this barbecue, you mind telling me what happened over here to the party barn, I like to call it?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick. What you end up doing over here?
So every year, let's keep walking.
Okay.
Every year, I try to do a little bit more to this entertainment barn. Like years ago, we had the choice of like ripping it down entirely because it was collapsing. Like the foundation needed work and everything. And we could tear it all down and sell it for like, I don't know, a few $100s in materials. Or we could spend a whole bunch of money and fix the foundation and all that. And we decided to fix the foundation and just straighten everything up, right? And after we did that, it was kind of this like, little by little every year, it gets a little better. So, you know, we built a pergola, we poured concrete, and so this year's addition is we poured a set of concrete steps going from like our driveway up one side, which is kind of like hidden behind that tree there, and then another set of stairs going from that top landing down to the pergola area.
Yeah, so what's these holes in these stairs there? What you do? Get all fancy?
They're lighted steps.
Lighted steps.
And the thing is, like, you'd think that we entertain here all the time. We don't. It's like 3 times a year or something.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be pouring the steps, you know, you can't do them over. So
yeah, right.
Just get it done right. Like the original concrete slab under the pergola had some lighted steps.
Sure did.
I figured, you know, just to have it tie into this space better.
I can't wait to see those like at nighttime lit up and see how well it looks.
And the inside of the barn is dirty, but I can at least show you guys, like, because all these clubs that want to come in and have like a group, you know, like a picnic or a cookout or something. Like, they don't watch all of my videos that kind of like have shown this in the past.
Right.
But it's like, it's a pretty cool entertainment space.
This is where all the magic happens.
So, yeah, we almost tore this entire place down. And over the years, it gets a little bit better. Like that bar there, we got in trade for coral one year. Like all kinds of stuff just kind of like builds up and builds up to. It's a pretty cool place to hang out in the evenings.
Oh yeah, very interesting. I love the old theme, the old look, and it's very nice. So I'm sure other people may have not seen this in prior videos of yours, but yes, awesome. Well,
So for everybody that's looking forward to, that are already signed up for the barbecue.
Yeah.
This is what you get to look forward to. Hopefully we'll have good weather. We're running out of spaces, so.
Yeah.
What's the website? I think it's like.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you.
TidalGardens.eventbrite.com is the sign up, and I think there's like 15 or 20 spaces left. So
okay, so
check that out.
Make sure you guys get there or be square, correct?
And hopefully we don't have to use a porta potty.
Yeah, that would be
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Dan. I just wanted to stop by and hang out and you guys, explain what's going on with the building, the process. We got to cover a little bit of the barbecue event. So I'm excited. How do you feel about this event?
It's going to be good.
Oh, real quick, what about the corals? All right, the corals are open for anybody that would like to actually purchase corals as well, correct?
Yeah. So if you see something in the greenhouse that you want to take home, by all means, get a hold of one of us and we'll make that happen. There
you guys go. So, any more final words before we close out this segment?
That's it.
We're good? All right, well.
Happy reefing, y'all.
There you guys go. That's Stan from Tidal Gardens. So, hope to see you guys here on July 28th, correct? That is a Saturday. So, most of you guys are already booked.
And then parking is next door at the church. So, if we look out one of these windows here.
Yeah, let's look out real quick. Oh, yeah.
Like right
perfect.
there. So where everybody's parked, we get to use their parking lot.
So there you guys go. And for all you guys that are going to be off of 18 Fairlawn area at the hotels, we're literally like 10 minutes. So Uber, not even that, huh?
2 minutes.
Okay, like 2 minutes.
Nothing.
I exaggerated just a little bit. But regardless, we're going to be able to Uber. And if I'm available and not doing much, I'll can pick you guys up as well and bring you here. So, all right, guys, this is the end of this. I hope to see you guys soon. So, with that being said, this is Rico, Rico's Aquarium, signing out. Peace.